Understanding the language of chemistry, we need to learn about. Hi there, this is Shamin here. In this video, I'm going to teach you that is the language of chemistry, that is the chemical formula and symbols. Alright, so let's get started. So today you will learn about the represent elements using chemical symbols and understand the basics of IUPAC nomenclature in naming compounds. Use chemical formula to represent compounds. Did you know that Swedish scientist Jöns Jakob Berzelius introduced the modern system of chemical symbols? He represented the elements using one or two letters from their Latin names. So guys, here you can see this is the sodium here. So always capitalize the first letter and each symbol made up of one or two letters. So here is an A. So that means it's a sodium. These are shorthand ways to represent the elements in chemistry. Now I'm going to talk about the importance of chemical symbols. Why is it important? They provide standardized ways of representing elements, making communicating information about elements and compounds easier. They offer a concise and simple way to represent elements in chemical equations, eliminating the need to spell each element's name. So here is some common chemical symbols, that is hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. So hydrogen, that is derived from the Greek hydro and genes, which means water forming. So that is the most abundant elements in the universe. And oxygen, that is the name comes from Greek oxy and genes, which means acid forming, essential for life. Common chemical symbols, that is nitrogen, comes from Greek nitron and genes meaning nitrate forming. So constitutes about 78% of Earth's atmosphere. Sodium derived from the Latin natrium, soft metal that easily tarnishes when exposed to air. And chlorine, name derived from the Greek chloros, which means greenish yellow, widely used in disinfectants and cleaning products. So symbol Scrabble. How many elements can you recognize from the chemical symbols below? Name as many as you can with the help of your pair. Symbol Scrabble. Elements are often named based on their characteristics, the substance they were extracted from, how they were found, mythological beings, and locations or notable individuals. So here is a gold, nickel, magnesium, iodine, phosphorus, silver, potassium, calcium, mercury, aluminum, zinc, carbon. So symbol Scrabble. Elements are often named based on their characteristics. So here is the periodic tables of elements. So here is 118 chemical elements listed in the periodic table, specific order. So the rules of how the new elements in the periodic table are set up and by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemical, that is IUPAC. So the role of IUPAC. IUPAC is responsible for establishing unambiguous and consistent naming systems, also known as nomenclature and terminology. It has a system for naming chemical compounds that provides a standard language for scientists worldwide. Naming compounds. A compound is a substance containing two or more elements that are chemically bonded. So, a chemical formula is an expression showing the elements in a compound and their relative proportions. It contains a combination of chemical symbols and numbers. So if you see here, the chemical formula for carbon dioxide is CO2. So what does the formula CO2 mean? So here is a one carbon atom, that is the carbon, and two oxygen atom because of the subscript 2. So shown below is the molecular model of the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a compound of a carbon and oxygen. So here's the naming ionic compounds. An ionic compound is a composed of a metal and non-metal. Some of the basic rules when naming ionic compounds include, that is metal, that is sodium chloride, copper sulfide, and sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate. So this is the sodium and sulfate. So here is the ATE. Alright. Sodium. So this is the carbon dioxide. Non-metal farthest to the left on the periodic table comes first. So this is the another. Here is a carbon tetrachloride. Alright, so here is used the prefix tetra. So mono, di, tri, and tetra to indicate the number of the elements in the molecules. Another here is and here is another, that is sulfur dioxide. So a covalent compound with two elements will have a name that end with IDE, that is the sulfur dioxide. And here is another. Naming covalent compounds. Remember that many covalent compounds have common names that are widely accepted. That is water. Here's a two hydrogen atom, one oxygen atom, and ammonia. Here is a one nitrogen atom and three hydrogen atom. Ammonia. So NH3 here. So that means one nitrogen atom and three hydrogen atom, that is the ammonia. So this is the naming covalent compound. Remember that many covalent compounds have the common name that are widely accepted. Methane. So CH4, that means one carbon and four hydrogen atom. Methane. So chemistry name game, that is identify the correct chemical formula for the following compound, that is potassium bromide, lithium iodide, carbon monoxide, sulfuric acid, potassium nitrate. These are the potassium bromide, lithium iodide, carbon monoxide, and this one sulfuric acid, and the last one potassium nitrate. So these are the chemical name, that is identify the correct chemical formula for the following compounds. These are the potassium bromide. So guys, review here chemical symbols, that is these are shorthand ways to represent elements in chemistry. Each symbol is made up of one or two letters, with the first letter always capitalized. IUPAC nomenclature, that is IUPAC is responsible for setting up a system of naming elements and compounds and providing a standard language for scientists worldwide. And naming compounds, that is the compounds are represented by chemical formula which use symbols and subscript. And IUPAC, that is sets rules for naming compounds correctly. So guys, you need to identify and record the chemical formula and common names and corresponding the IUPAC names for 5 common compounds found at home. This is your homework, guy. This is your homework, guy. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you very much and see you later.